Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Mapp, and I'm the chairman of Informa, and I'm delighted in this temple of British sport to celebrate a great man's career. For our friends from the colonies, this is the temple of British sport. It celebrates a wonderful game called cricket. Often it takes 5 days. We have time off for lunch and afternoon tea. If it rains, we come off. Generally takes about 5 days, and often the game ends in a draw. So welcome to the greatest of British institutions. But we're here really to celebrate Peter Rigby's 30 years as Informa and 25 years as CEO. And how can you fit a proper tribute to that man who's achieved so much into a 10 or 15 minute summary. Whatever I say cannot give true justice to this man's amazing record. Now, in his service with his company, Peter has seen 5 prime ministers, 12 Doctor Who's, and over 2,500 Rod Stewart concerts. Now, I remember in the good old days of making investor presentations that you don't lead with the story and the strategy, but with the numbers first, because the audience will fidget throughout. So here are the numbers. When Peter took the helm of IBC, the market capital was near to zero. Today, Informa is valued at 3.3 billion. As Jimmy Cricket said, you've heard nothing yet. The TSR since 1998 is plus 372% compared to the FTSE 108%. In 2004, since the Inspired merger with Taylor and Francis, pardon? The TSR is plus 187% compared with the FTSE 129%. These are amazing figures and amazing results. But whilst these numbers are impressive, it doesn't go merely far enough to describe the man. Peter, a rookie finance director at Stoneheart Publications, which was subsequently absorbed by IBC, and then 7 acquisitions in 18 months later. They floated in 1986, and again in 1987 a further deal was agreed by acquiring IBC in a £98 million acquisition for the newsletter Barham. The market didn't like that acquisition, and the shares halved in price following a financial miscalculation in a debt for equity deal, which left the company near to collapse. Now, Peter then became CEO of this troubled company, aged 33. And his first results in 1990 presented a pre-tax loss of 14 million compared to a profit 2 years earlier of 13 million. And the share price had lost over half its value, down to now 80p from originally £2. But Peter showed he had the guts for the fight, and by April 1994 he'd transformed the company to an underlying profit increase of 22%. And restated earnings per share up 49%, and debt reduced by 80%. Now, Peter, as you know, is an energetic individual and lover of music, and it was on his return from the announcement of those results that with Freddie Mercury on the radio in the car, he lyrically bounced to the music to the extent that he cracked the car windscreen. Now, the next big stage in Peter's career was in 1998, and to merge IBC with Lloyd's of London, which itself had been an MBO 3 years earlier, and itself went public in 1998. And then 7 months afterwards, the two leaders, Peter, together with David Gilbertson, agreed to merge those two entities. Now, that was the start of a strong partnership between Peter and David, which continued for nearly 10 years. The merged company became known as Informa, and with Peter as executive chairman and David as CEO. Now, by 2003, this company was now achieving operating profits of 46 million. In 2003, Informa acquired PJB, publisher of the script, and other pharma publications for 120 million. Now, in 2004, it's when I first met Peter in the underground bunker at the Langham Hotel, when he persuaded the directors of Taylor & Francis to merge with Informa. I especially recall this Yorkshireman's unconventional attitude to business and the absolute energy that accompanied every word. Informa and Taylor & Francis merged that year, and it was shortly after T&F had celebrated its 200th anniversary. And the merger created a £500 million turnover business, renamed Taylor & Francis Informa. The Taylor & Francis bit didn't last long. Oh, no, it didn't. In 2005, Informa paid 768 million for IIR, which we often called IRR because we could never remember. And the group was now on its way to a £1 billion turnover, increasing the number of employees throughout the world to over 7,000. Finally, in transformational acquisitions in 2007, Data Monitor was acquired. Now, in 2008, David left the company and Peter assumed the CEO position with me as chair and Adam as the new CFO. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on the three venture capital approaches, except to say rumours are often inaccurate. The inferred mergers with UBM, the approaches to buy or be bought by Springer, as all have little relevance in the scale of success Peter has achieved, except to say there's never a dull day at Informa. In the 9 years I have worked with Peter, and more recently the last 4 years since being chairman, it has been an honour, Peter, and a pleasure to work with you. Firstly, we both came from the right side of the Pennines, and can you ever believe we would appoint a White Rose as a CFO? There are two of them in the room. Did you hear them clap them? And I've enjoyed and experienced some interesting times in your company, or by email. The first thing I would say about Peter is that he has the rarest talent of behaving exactly the same with everybody with whom he communicates. He behaves with the most junior managers the same as he would with the most senior colleagues, acquaintances or advisors. I've really learnt a lot from Peter, and he is the most expert at sending a text after a meeting telling you whether you've done okay or great. And we all know what okay means. Now, even my vocabulary has been extended. And his trait for adopting a nickname for everyone is sometimes confusing whilst always humorous. The trouble is the nicknames stick to the extent I forget their real names. And we often have to have a reference table to determine who we're really talking about. He is unique in his style and has energy that knows no bounds and has an electric personality. And he's prepared to take on anything. And I remember when we went to Beijing at the Palm exhibition, Peter had rehearsed and decided that he was going to do the opening presentation in Mandarin. I couldn't believe it. I still don't think everybody else could either, but as well. But Peter spoke with a linguistic way and style of speaking Mandarin with a Yorkshire accent. And it was only Anna, who was with us at the time, came over afterwards and said, "Well done, Peter. That was great. I didn't know what you were talking about until you said thank you at the end." Now, Peter is no lover of bureaucracy, but he's no shirker of responsibility and leadership either. He is a natural entrepreneur and leads from the front. He will never ask anybody to do anything that he wouldn't do himself. and he has an extraordinary ability to communicate and get things done. You know, he can move mountains by 10-word texts that you often receive at the strangest of times. In fact, Peter is responsible for my leaving my mobile downstairs when I go to bed, due to the 3, 4 or 5 a.m. text messages I often get from him when he's landed at the latest venue, so that I don't end up getting up and replying to him. He's a lover of shirts. He wears a new one at every board meeting that he's bought in the last airport lounge. And his productivity through informality and his energetic application to the barely possible is remarkable. In November 2011, he was also honoured by Prince Albert of Monaco with the Order of St. Charles for the merit and services to the state of Monaco. Now, throughout his working career, Peter has been at the forefront of charitable giving and contributing to lesser fortunate people. Much of this has been through sport-related activity, including triathlons, marathons, tennis, football, and of course, the multinational Banana Run. In addition, the annual watch auction in Monaco has yielded phenomenal success, this year raising over £5 million for charity, of which one lot of One Go Watch raised 2.9 million. I think that deserves a round of applause. Now, before I close, it is important also to thank those most close to you, Peter, in giving you the love and support you've achieved so much, and in particular Claire, who we would like to note at this event with a small token. That's on its way. Thank you. Finally, Peter, as a teetotaler, overachiever, with more gadgets and toys than most, you're really quite a tough person to find a suitable gift for. However, everyone who knows you, Peter, knows that one of your many passions has been a deep and very real personal commitment to charitable fundraising. How many of us would take such pleasure in dressing up as an orange root vegetable or a banana at every opportunity? So rather than simply give you another watch, even a Swiss Gold one, the board has unanimously agreed to set aside some significant funds to make a donation to a charitable activity or foundation of your choice. Details, as always, had to be worked out to make sure that it's tax efficient. But tonight, for the first time in years that I've known you, I'll give you a blank check. Peter, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. You know that your friends and colleagues at Informa will miss you dearly, but one thing I am sure of, in the respect that is held by everybody, is that your friendship and their friendship to you will never dim. We all wish you every success, happiness and health in the future. And in behalf of all of the staff, investors, and everybody else that's just brushed alongside your magic, thank you for your dedicated and immensely successful commitment to Informa. Thank you.